The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Thanks to our friends over at La Terrain Watches for sponsoring Time to BS podcast. Use the promo code Time to BS at LaTerrain.com for some sweet deals over on the website. That's Time, the number 2, and BS at LaTerrain.com.
It's time to BS.
No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, no matter how I do it, I think I'm just going to settle it right there. Live streaming just ain't for me, dog. Just ain't for me. I live streamed last night as a recording. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. We love these things. And it just didn't, it was horrible. It was 20 minutes worth of crap. And it didn't really work the way I wanted to do it. But that's okay. Because in the end, shit happens. Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Staniel Smooth, and as per usual, we're coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, and a part of the Belly Up Sports and Media Network. My name is Staniel Smooth, and it's time to BS. So, got a loaded show for you today, but with that being also said, we're brought to you by our friends over at DraftKings. Go to dkng.co/bellyup150. Get $200 off when you bet $5 or more with DraftKings. SeatGeek, use the promo code BellyUpSports at SeatGeek.com to get $20 off your first purchase. And don't forget to support the lads over U Stadium, so go download the app over in the App Store or Google Play and talk to some great sports fans. Plus, follow their Twitter page over at U Stadium for some of the hottest news in the market. Oh, boy. I'll just get right into it. The Super Bowl was good. Super Bowl was a good game. Wasn't my preferred favorite Super Bowl ever. That belonged to Seahawks Patriots 2014. How could you love a Super Bowl that pains your memories so much as a Hawks fan? Well, it's a great game. It is the most watched super television event since the moon landing. In fact, I think it beats the moon landing. But overall, Kansas City repeats after winning in only the second overtime in Super Bowl history, 25-22, and more importantly, holy shit, Niners Twitter is in shambles. It is glorious. They're calling for Shanahan's job. They call for Steve Wilkes' job, who, by the way, just got fired today. They're calling for so much change. They're losing their marbles, man. It is funny to me. I'll get to Niners Twitter in a second, but San Francisco's defense, for the most part, showed up. The offense was hit or miss, it seemed like to me. And you could blame that on Shanahan. You could blame that on the Chiefs' defense. I think it's mostly a Shanahan thing. Kansas City, by the way, could seemingly do fucking nothing for 2.5 quarters. And then suddenly Mahomes' bullshit enters the chat. Proceeds to dink and dunk and throw balls like piss missiles. And then the Niners defense, which has been seemingly great all year, well, for the most part, just could not get any pressure, it seemed like. And this is without their best offensive lineman, Joe Thuney. This is without him. Like, this is crazy to me. But it was 10-3 at halftime, 49ers lead. And people are losing their marbles like, oh my God, is Kansas City really going to lose this badly? It's going to get worse. Any of you guys want to have that conversation about Kyle Shanahan? Like, seriously, I'm not making this up when I say this. Kyle Shanahan is the worst decision maker ever in terms of a head coach. Jackson, if you're listening, Jackson Bevins of Cigar Thoughts, if you're listening, I understand he's the best X's and O's guy in the league, but holy shit, can you try to hold a lead in monstrous situations? Like, good. First, another thing. San Francisco says, like, oh, we're the underdogs. They've doubted us. Like, no one has doubted you. You've had an incredible roster all year. You're in cap hell. You have had, like, unbelievable teams for the last 5-6 years. You have no championships to show for it. You're going to be in cap hell, as I just said. You're probably going to lose Brandon Ayuk. You're going to lose Kittle. You're going to lose Armstead. And probably Dre Greenlaw in the offseason. They're going to make a scapegoat, and Steve Wilkes is the first one to go. He just got fired earlier today. And Shanahan will take no responsibility. He'll think, oh, my system works, blah, 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 blah. It's like, first of all, you should have beaten Kansas City by at least a touchdown. By at least a touchdown. And your dumbass decided, hey, let's go and not hold a lead. Let's go forget how to play offense. Let's forget how to... Where's all the motioning? Where's all the creativity you've had all season? Where is that? This is not me being a salty Seahawks fan. The salty Seahawks fan is laughing his ass off. Because this is downright hilarious. Anyway, congrats to the Chiefs. The next NFL dynasty resides in Kansas City, Missouri. That's right. Kansas City is in Missouri. Not Kansas. Well, kind of. It's on the border, but, you know. That's not my decision, ain't it? Yeah. So, Shanahan, for fuck's sakes, man. I don't know what they should do. I don't know what they're going to do in the future. Just, God. Niners, you're probably fucked here. San Francisco's fucked. And it's glorious to watch. Anyway, speaking of bullshit, do you guys want to talk about the elephant in the room? Drake's leak? Now, for starters, let's understand this. We're all adults here. For the most part. Some of you are downright children. I'm sure us as men in our teenage years, or in college, or in high school, or whatever the fuck, have sent a dick pic, embarrassingly, from time to time. We've all done it. We have all done it. But let's all remind ourselves that Drake getting his dick leaked is not the worst thing that ever happened in the world of celebrities. Let us remind each other. Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian have full-blown sex tapes being released. If you don't remember that, they're out there. I can assure you of that. This is hilarious to me. It doesn't... I've being curious as fuck, I'm just like, how bad is it? I looked it up. Thankfully, you find the most random shit on Reddit, of all things. And I was like, this is what people losing their minds about? For God's sakes. Put some work in there. Jesus Christ. You know, the world of celebrities is weird. The world of celebrity and drama and bullshit's weird. I don't know. That's just me. You know the bright side about the season ending for the NFL is that the off season is my favorite part. But more importantly, we get a trade-off with baseball. Baseball's coming back. That's exciting. We love to see it. That's a beautiful thing. Pitchers and catchers reported today. That's fucking nice. I might predict the World Series this year, but this is the first time I think in a while we can really definitively say there's no clear favorite to win the World Series this year. And that feels good. That feels really fucking good. You know? It feels nice knowing that there's no definitive favorite to win the whole thing. And you know, the Yankees might rebuild for the next 2 years. That gets me excited. You know? It's nice. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Staniel Smooth. We'll be right back. Take a quick break, read some ads, and we'll return in a second.
What's up, everyone? Staniel Smooth here. I want to show you guys a cool thing we're doing. This podcast is sponsored by Canada Dips, the newest lineup to the dip game, but in CBD form. The Canada Dips lineup features products made for every man's lifestyle. All tins are proudly crafted from the hills of Humboldt County in California. It's filled with flavor and will give you that good vibe that CBD brings to the room. So what are you waiting for? Use the promo code BELLYUP20 in all caps at CanadaDips.com for 20% off your next order. That's BELLYUP20 at CanadaDips.com.
It's time to BS.
Got a lot on my mind, man. I got a lot on my mind this evening. I'm glad I get to share it with you guys because, for one, it's easier to talk things out when I'm in front of a microphone and I get to really express myself a lot more. That's one big reason why I love doing this so much. Is I get to sit in front of this bad boy and talk some shit out, you know? Have a good time with it. I appreciate you guys, seriously, for tuning in and listening to me ramble. That feels nice. It really does. And you know, I'll get to more on it. When I get on my mind. Streaking in the Waste Management Open is hilarious. Golf fans as a whole are great. Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, expected to sign with AEW. I think she's really good, but it's one of those things you look and you go, does she really move the needle that much? I mean, she bet on herself to be bigger than WWE, and that really didn't work so well. I'm just curious how many bridges she ended up burning on their way out of WWE? That's a big curious question for me. You know, you ever think of that shit? Why the hell why'd you leave? It's because you felt disrespected? I mean, Naomi came back. I don't know. I mean, I wish I had the answers to these questions. You know? All right. So, yeah. Do you guys think Seattle could trade DK Metcalf? Before I lose you, Mike Salk of Seattle Sports Station, formerly known as ESPN Seattle, wrote this article and basically brought up an idea of should the Seahawks trade DK? And my initial response was, why? He's your best offensive player. And then I thought about it. And then I really thought about these things. I don't know. It makes the brain turn. You know what I'm saying? It makes me curious to know, hey, is there a possibility that DK can get traded? I don't know. I don't think so. I doubt it would happen. But just for shits and giggles, let's say the Giants offer you a package of a first rounder, 2 seconds, and a fourth for Metcalf. Automatically, it's going to cost a first round pick because of his contract. Now, would I do it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where the road takes us. It's 10:30 at night. Cut me some slack. On Valentine's Day, by the way. So, happy Valentine's Day for those listening. Hope you had a wonderful week. But, you know, maybe it's possible that I'm thinking too hard with this whole thing. That's entirely possible. But maybe it's one of those, like, hey, maybe you should consider doing it. Maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea. But I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that I'm tired, but I can't really think straight right now. I need to go to bed. So TNA decided to pull one of the most TNA moves in a long time. And they fired President Scott D'Amore, the single man responsible for keeping Impact Wrestling / TNA afloat for nearly a fucking decade. There were rumors and speculations by saying Scott D'Amore was attempting to buy TNA from their parent company Anthem over in Canada, or so we think. I'm so lost by this. You turned back into TNA in January, and then you fire your president. Why? There's more to this than meets the eye. I, for one, am very curious to see what news enters the chat. What comes out, what doesn't come out. That is a giant question for me. Because something doesn't sit right for me. Something doesn't feel right. It flat out just doesn't. I'm taking the headphones off, and I just want to be able to really speak what's on my mind here. I said earlier in the program that I had a lot on my mind. I did a lot of self-reflecting, you would call it that. I just would look back on some memories, you know, good and bad, and I think to myself, all right, what would benefit me to hold on to these memories? or what memories that I could hold on to benefit me in the long run? Honestly, none of them. None of them, really. And that sucks to say, because there are some memories that, you know, I look back on. I think what really set this off was I was listening to a Joey Diaz clip from his podcast, and it was about going home. And he said, oh, we all have those like 3 hangout spots that we would go to, and you look back on them and you go over to them and you realize how old you are. Like, I remember going home and thinking to myself, wow, there's some nice spots I used to go to. You know, Nassau Coliseum, over Uniondale, Long Island, Flows in Blue Point, Satellite in Bayport. You know, I would go to, you know, whether it was Howard's Cafe in Patchogue. You know, those are my spots. And it was nice being able to just look back and say, wow, it's nice looking back at those. I've been really self-reflective in the last, you know, couple weeks. I've doing a little therapy trick to try and look forward to potential good memories and then look back on the good memories and not focus on any of the bad. But how about you guys? Do you look back on some memories that you want to hold on to? You know, I mean, because for me, what has always helped is looking back on just everything that has happened in my life. And one of my favorite pictures I look back on is I went to a Billy Joel concert it was the last concert before the renovation of the old Nassau Coliseum. And I would look back and say, wow, that building was a dump, but it was our dump. It was our home as Islander fans. And I remember taking a picture with both index fingers in the air, holding number 1, you know, blah, 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 and that's still my favorite pictures. And I went to UBS Arena, you know, a few weeks ago for an Islander game against Dallas. And I would quietly say to myself, it's home, but it's not the same. And I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for you to go into your bag of memories and look back and say, wow, I did some cool shit in my life. And it's nice to be able to look back and just reflect for a while. Reflect on some of the cool shit you've done in your life. And I do that all the time with gaming. You know, I look back at, you know, the GameCube. I still have my GameCube, my PS2, the Xbox 360. I go, wow, that was some good days. And I'll still play those games from time to time. You know, Mass Effect, you know, Halo, you know, classic Halo, Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime. You know, I love that shit. And it's like, wow, it's always my comfort zone, man. I remember going home to the beach, speaking of comfort zone. That was always a great comfort zone of mine. Just the beach. And it feels good. It feels good, you know, thinking of good memories in the past. It's something that I don't do a lot because sometimes it fucks my head. But no, it feels good. It feels good. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Staniel Smooth. That'll do it for this episode of Time to BS. Be sure to follow the show, like, subscribe, the whole fucking 9 yards. You know the deal. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Follow the podcast pages on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Time to BS Podcast and at Staniel Smooth on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I'm sure sure you know by now. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening the whole night. So my name is Staniel Smooth. This has been episode 208 of Time to BS, and I will see you all in this life or the next one. Cheers, guys.